So welcome to our Monday night Zoom. I'm excited because one of the things I asked you guys when Emily was going to hop on for our Zoom is, how many of you are afraid to tell it like it is? And so many of you almost unanimously said, I'm afraid to say how I feel. I'm afraid to be honest and real. And those are struggles that are going to always, not sometimes, but always hold you back in your business. Because guess what? You're the brand. You're the person everyone is watching. They're trusting you. They're not trusting the clinical trials. I can pretty much attest to that. So what does it mean to be able to be genuine, to speak your mind? Well, Emily is pretty much the embodiment of that. I'll tell you, when I first met her, I was like, that is probably the most real person I've ever met in my entire life. So, and I'm sure that that's a great asset for your marriage too. Your husband's like that too, I think, right?
He is now.
He's reformed. So Emily is a diamond with the company, and if you're brand new, what that means is that you love Plexus so much that you want to tell everyone about it, wear t-shirts, and drive a car around that has Plexus written on it. That's what it means. So she is going to share with us tonight for the next 25 minutes. Make sure you have a pen and paper because you'll want to take notes, and I'll circle back with her when you guys are done. I will send her a screenshot of all the comments you made about learning to be true to yourself and speaking your mind. All right, I'm literally just passing it over to you. You are unmuted and speak review.
Hey, everybody. Oh, I'm so excited. This is funny because I was reading the comments and someone said, I can't believe Emily's on here. And I can't believe Jennifer asked me to do a Zoom. So it's like a win-win, you guys. You're getting like the best of both worlds. Yes, I'm from the South. I wore my hat just for you guys, my Texas hat. I tell it like it is, and that is why I'm a diamond. No, I'm just kidding. It's absolutely not why I'm diamond. I tell it like it is because for so many years, I've bottled stuff up. Maybe that's you. Maybe you're the person that bottles it up, and then one day you just freaking explode on people. Or maybe it's your spouse, and they're like, what the heck? Like, where'd all this come from? That was me for many, many years. I came from a household with parents that fought all the time, and I was the oldest, so I had to keep it together for my siblings, and I kind of took that into my adulthood, and I took that into Plexus with me, and then one day, I decided, no, that's not fun. That's not the truth, and I decided I was just going to tell like it is about everything. I do choose to say it with tact. I'm not a complete open filter, but maybe to my husband, but I have learned that in my Plexus business, this is the way to do it. So let's begin with what you may hear in the background right now. I'm nursing my baby. She's 3 months old, and I have a white noise machine playing. Okay, so in this business, when you want to tell it like it is, when you want to just go for it and you're too terrified, it's because you are focused on all the noise, and that noise is comparison. That noise is watering someone else's grass, not your own. Turn off the noise. Turn off the noise. Comparison is the thief of joy. Theodore Roosevelt has said that. Many of you probably have seen that. Some of you probably have it tattooed somewhere. Comparison is the thief of joy. It's true. Because when you are so focused on what Sally, Sarah, and Johnny are doing, you're not focusing on your growth. You're not focusing on your new skill sets. You're not focusing on your self-discipline. That's why you get fat, because you start eating food because you're so depressed about what other people are doing, right? Or maybe that's why you do the blame game thing. Do you blame others? Do you blame others for your lack of success because, well, they just do this, or they don't have kids? Y'all, I graduated from college and got pregnant with my second baby the month I went Emerald. So, I mean, anything can happen. You have to push yourself, but you have to get rid of the noise first. So if you have constant white noise playing on your news feed, in your house, in your neighborhood, wherever you're surrounding yourself, turn the noise off. Turn the noise off and focus on what you can do to grow and move forward. Now, the second thing that I want to say, because I'm sure you're all writing that down, turn the noise off. Got it. Well, the second thing I want you to write down is I want you to focus on your calling and not the competition. So often we focus on our competitors. We focus on our sidelines. Okay, what's working for them? Okay, she's doing this follow-up system. She has a planner. She's doing this. He's doing that. He takes his products this way. Well, I take mine that way. Well, maybe that's why it's not working as quickly for me. Stop it. Focus on your calling. Why did you click join? I'll tell you why I clicked join. I clicked join for vanity purposes. I was sick of my boobs sitting on my fat roll. That was not how I wanted to live life. That's not how I wanted to welcome my husband coming home from Afghanistan after having our first baby. Like, I wanted to be the hot wife. I didn't want to be the chunky monkey. All right? I've always been the chunky monkey friend. And I've learned to love the body that the good Lord has given me. There's nothing wrong with that. But I also know that I need to be healthy and the best version of me. And to me, that's not being a chunky butt. So that was my goal. And when people would say, Emily, why did you join? I say, because my boobs are sitting on my fat roll. And people would just start laughing hysterically. And I'm like, but for real, y'all, I would make a status about that. I mean, sometimes I would legit say that. But usually I would say something like, hey, guys, down from 3 fat rolls down to 1. This stuff works. And people would be like, no, she didn't. I'm like, yes, I did. Because that got people's attention. They saw me in person. They saw me at church. They saw me at my kids' school. They saw me when I would post full body pictures on Facebook. That was non-existent since like 2013 pre-baby life, when I had some sort of abs, because that just kind of, I don't know what happened to them. They're in their, my 6-pack's and it's cooler, I think is what people say. It's hiding. One day. But anyways, I would post stuff like that because that was me just keeping it real. Because we have fat rolls, right? We have cellulite. We have dimples. We have gray hairs. We have freckles. Embrace them. Love them. Talk about them because someone else has them, right? And that is going to make you personable and relatable. And honestly, those are things we're probably always going to have unless we go on really strict diets. We spend thousands of dollars on personal trainers, and we never ever miss a day of our plexus, right? Because we're not human. That never happens. So I want you to just kind of think about that for a second. Focus on your calling, not the competition. What can you do tonight to focus on why you're here, why you take your products, why you share what you share? Just one thing, and then celebrate that. Roll with it. Talk about it. When it comes to celebrating people on my team and recognizing people, like my level ones, it could be them posting a status. It could be them taking their products every day for a whole week, because sometimes we forget mom life, right? But whatever it is, I pick one thing and I celebrate the crap out of it. And this is why, because they need to hear it from me. Whoever joins you, whatever customer, ambassador, whether they're here for a discount or they're here for a dream, you celebrate something with them every single week. Because the second that you stop celebrating, they're going to have the same day that you're having right now, where they are focusing on the competition and not why they're here, their calling. So we're going to recognize others, right? This week we're going to recognize others, but most importantly, I want you to recognize yourself. I want you to celebrate one positive thing that you did today. Write it down. Write it down. A lot of you have pen and paper. I can see it. Write down one thing that you did today for your health or for your business, either or. Whether that was, I drank my whole pink drink. I pooped 3 times today. I reached out to my dream teamer. I didn't lose my mind on my children because I took my pink drink because it's my happy drink. Just keeping it real. It's true. When I don't drink my pink drink, my husband knows. He's like, you didn't drink it today, did you? Like, how do you know that? He's like, because you're extra feisty. It's like my happy drink. But in all seriousness, at the end of the day, if you are not recognizing an accomplishment, you're always going to think you are not enough and that you're not doing enough. And you have my permission right now to know that you're doing enough. Now, that doesn't give you permission to slack off. That doesn't give you permission to say, oh, I posted a Facebook status. I'm going to fish for potentials. No, we're not baiting people. We are not fishermen. Well, kind of. That's preaching for another subject, Jennifer. So we're not fishermen for Plexus, right? I want you to be farmers. I want you to plant seeds. I want you to harvest. I want you to harvest those relationships with people. I want you to say the scary things. So I'm going to challenge you guys. I'm going to challenge you to do this. And this is what I've been doing with my team, and I feel like it's working really well. All the time you see people on Facebook or Instagram, and you're like, oh, their pictures are so great. They always have a story to tell. Believe it or not, so do you. Excuse me. I want you to think of, for those of you that have children, I'll start with you first because that's where I relate to the most. I want you to think of the worst day ever. And maybe that was today. I want you to think of the last moment you had with your kids where you thought your head was going to explode. 9-to-5ers, that job. Maybe it was Friday and you could not wait for that clock to tick at 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock, or whatever, so you could get off work. I want you to think of the last worst day that you had. Are we all there? Nod yes when you're there. When you're there at your worst day. I want you to write a story about it. Because when you're vulnerable and when you talk about hard things, you're going to relate to someone that you probably never related to before. You're opening up to your audience. And this is the thing. You're not going to become Kim Kardashian overnight. You're not going to have like all these haters and all these comments and stuff. It doesn't work that way. When you put yourself out there, when you write a story about something hard that you don't want to talk about, sometimes that is the one invitation somebody needed to finally ask you about Plexus. Because believe it or not, Plexus is not a cure-all, right? It doesn't cure our bad days. But when we post about those things, when we post about those hard things, it shows people that we're not just happy, happy, joy, joy, Plexus, Plexus all the time. Even though, honestly, for the last 4 years, I kind of have felt that way. I still have bad days, but most of the time it's happy, happy, joy, joy because of my Plexus. But I need you to be real with your audiences for about 5 minutes. So think about that bad day. I want you to talk about how that day made you feel, why it made you feel that way. And then I want you to end the post after you've written 2 paragraphs. I want you to end the post with, anybody out there relate? Anybody else been there? And I want you to kind of write your story about, it's a bad day. It's not a bad life. Because someone out there will always have it worse, right? And that leads me to say this. When it comes to your business and self-discipline, when you don't have self-discipline, guess what you have? Excuses. Lots of them. I don't like excuses. I'm a very red personality, 1 point away from blue. So red and blue means no excuses. Like, we get it done and we have fun. That's like my motto. And when you are living life in this excuse bubble of you're not enough, you'll never have enough, you can't be that way, you're just constantly feeding that negativity to your mind, you're going to stay there forever. You're just going to be stuck. And that's your fault. No one else's. You're the common denominator. So when it comes to this business and your personality, I want you to remember only you can change it. So my mom and I, we FaceTime probably like 400 times a day. She's my bestie for the restie. And when I'm on FaceTime with her, we'll have vulnerable moments where she's like, Emily, I'm 50. She's recently divorced. She's like, I'm 50. I'm going to be lonely for the rest of my life. Like, I just don't feel like there's going to be anyone else out there for me. And she's like, I've lost weight and, I've done this and I've done this. And she's telling me all these things that she's done. But at the end of the day, all those things that she's done for other people. You know what I mean? She hasn't done them for herself. So I was thinking about that, and I've kind of applied that to my business. So often we're putting stuff out there into the world for others. I want them to see my post so that they will do this. I want to do this for so-and-so so they'll like me and ask me about Plexus. Or I'm going to buy this shirt so that they do, whatever it is. We're constantly doing things for the gratification of others or for other people. So tonight, when you're writing that story, write it for you. It's almost going to be like a personal vent sesh. Sesh stands for session, in case you're wondering. I say it all the time, and people are always like, what is a sesh? It's a session. I want you to kind of write a story, like a little vent sesh. And no, it's not like a Facebook rant. I don't want you to rant. I can't stand Facebook rants. I always unfriend people that rant because that's just, I want Facebook to be full of puppies and food and cute babies. Like, I don't have time to read about your baby mama drama. So when you're telling your story tonight, or when you're talking about your bad day, this is a moment of vulnerability. This is a moment for you to talk about a hard thing. This is a moment for you to put the excuses in the trash, to stop looking at what Sarah's doing, what special she's offering for her team. This is for you and your people and your audience and your brand and your heart. I want you to write a story about your worst day. And this is why. It was about a year ago. I don't remember. I've had kids since then. I think it was a year ago. I started a blog because God told me to write a book, and I'm stubborn, and I was like, no, I can't do that. I'm not a writer. So I'll just start with a blog. and we'll see what happens. Well, that lasted like a hot, like 6 weeks. And then I was like, I don't got time for this. But I really enjoyed it. And so my husband's like, why don't you do that anymore? Like, you really liked it. Like, he would sit there and watch me like type, and I'd like laugh at my own jokes. And he's like, you like it, so why aren't you doing it? So when it comes to your Plexus business and you're writing that hard story or that hard Facebook status, I want you to do it because you like it. I want you to do it because you enjoy telling others the truth. And honestly, there's like, the truth will set you free. It will, because your audience will get to know a different side of you. Your team will get to see a different side of you. Your customers will understand that you're still human. You're not like some Plexus robot. You have feelings. People need to be reminded of that. And for those of you that have been in this business for quite some time, those people watching, they only know day 360. They haven't seen day one. Remind them of day one. If you can't think of your worst day, it was the day before you started Plexus. Remember how you felt? Remember how you didn't sleep? Remember how terrible your skin looked? Remember how your hair didn't grow? I want you to write about those things, your worst day. I want you to write about those things because they're important. Because people need to remember that we're not Plexus robots. Everybody's Facebook news feeds look the same, and this is going to help you break free of that. This is going to make those competitors look at you and play the comparison game. I want you to focus on your calling and not the competition. And if you didn't write that down, write it down now, because that's a good one. I don't even know how I came up with it, but it sounded good. All right. I'm checking my time, make sure I'm still good. Okay, I still have like 5 minutes.
No, it's super good, because I need to say this.
Yes.
Don't you feel like we say this all the time? Relationship. Share your story, but we don't actually break it down into the steps, how to do it, why we should do it, like the actual nuts and bolts of it. And that's what you just did. And the other thing is, we always say, don't be negative. Well, you sharing your hardest day is actually not negative at all, because finally someone will say, I totally get that. I feel that same way. And now they're connected to you. And they're even talking to you about something not Plexus related. Yes. I feel like you really, like, you are so good at what you do if you have someone asking you about Plexus. You know what I mean? Oh, yes. My gosh, my weird nude colored bra is showing.
Hey, that's right.
Okay, we're good. We're good now. Let me ask you this. Since Plexus, what do you notice that's different about you from when the Emily before Plexus? Like, what is something that's just starkly different?
I make friends really easily. And when I was little, my mom told me I did that all the time. And I just kind of laughed because a lot of people don't know this. Scott and I were separated for a year, and we almost got a divorce. And so coming back to Facebook was terrifying. I made a bad choice, and people knew that. People knew that for a long time. And so I had to rebuild my life, literally. I was a loser on my mom's couch. 9 months later, my husband's like, you know what? God's grace is bigger than all things. Like, I'm going to fight for this marriage. Let's do this. And a lot of people don't know that. They think that I've always just been this happy person. No, I was terrified to come back to Facebook and the judgments and the, are they really back together? I can't believe he's taking her back kind of stuff. And so for a long time, I used Facebook as like, I was treading water. I wasn't swimming laps. I was treading water, walking on eggshells. And I used that as a tool because I really did have to reconnect with people. And I had no friends for a year. I literally, I alienated myself because of the decision I made. So I make friendships so easily now. Like, I have no problem adding a complete stranger on Facebook and just being like, sup, girl, your baby cute. Like, I have no that's so weird, because 4 years ago, I would have never done that. I would have never told someone like, yo, cute baby. And my husband and my mom laugh at me all the time. They're like, who are you? And it's just because I have this newfound confidence. One, because I feel good. But two, because I'm forgiven and I've admitted my brokenness, and people see that and they know that and they love that. I probably get about 100 messages a month that say, thank you for being so real. And now I just kind of laugh because I'm like, it just comes with the territory. But before, I used to cry. And cry over those messages because I wanted people to know, like, this business has been hard, but it's been worth it. And it gave me friendships that I never knew I needed, and an opportunity to share with people that felt like they, like, you know, that Drake song, started from the bottom, now we here. Like, that's me. I literally was like so down here, and now I feel like I'm way up here. And the only thing that changed was I said yes to a network marketing business, which blows my mind still. But making friends. I think that's the craziest thing is people think I'm an extrovert, and I'm really not. I'm an ambivert or whatever, however you say it.
You switch between both?
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you said focus on your calling and not the competition, I sometimes find that people don't realize what their calling is. Like they don't understand. And I heard this girl say this at an opportunity event a couple weeks ago, and it is simple, but it's mind-blowing. She said, I kept thinking about the word network. I couldn't stop saying it. I kept saying network. And then she said, oh my gosh, I'm working to cast my net. And like she was literally like breaking it down where you have such a wide audience to love on people the more you work on your business. Like, can you think of a better reward? Like, yeah, a paycheck is great. And most people on our teams are making enough to make this a worthy effort. They're making enough to pay their electric bill or their car payment or their house payment. Like that's success, right? So if you're looking for your calling, if you say to yourself, what does she mean by calling? Your calling is one and only thing, and that's to love your neighbor and love yourself. And then, in my opinion, and probably Emily's too, is love God. And so if that's what you're doing with your Plexus business, whoop, whoop, because you can work this business in that way. That's being real. That's being genuine. And that will make you have the Drake song experience that I haven't heard yet because I'm too nerdy from starting from here and blah, blah, doo-dah, boo-boo.
It's definitely not on Christian top 10, that's for sure. You listen to the clean version, Jen.
I only listen to Greatest Showman and Meghan Trainor.
Yes. Love that album. Seriously, if you need to find out what your calling is or you want to understand what it's like to work Plexus, listen to The Other Side. That song is literally how I feel about every potential I talk to. Like, come with me, take my hand, like, to the other side. Like, I'm going to show you this world that it will blow your mind. That song and then, like, A Million Dreams. Well, that's your second homework. I want you to write a vulnerable post, and your second homework is to go see The Greatest Showman or download the soundtrack and be the best $10 you ever spent.
No kidding.
Besides $34.95.
And it's free on YouTube, too, the songs.
Oh, that's right. And if you have Amazon, if you're on Amazon Prime, you can listen to it on Amazon Music for free, too. Seriously.
So go listen to those songs. You're right. I didn't think about those being used for Plexus. Okay, well, let me close with this, by the way. Thank you. Everyone's freaking out and loves it so much. And then Maria Perez says you guys need to be best friends, so you might want to follow up on that. And then someone else says they love you faux real.
Faux real.
And then another person says, I'm like starstruck about you being on here. So I just wanted to share all that. So you guys, the best note that you can take from this is she's sitting here nursing her baby.
With white noise playing. Like, not kidding. There's white noise, right? That's white noise.
See, I could never show my nightstand because it is a hot mess. This is the kind of business for moms and for women and for busy people. Remember that. I was told when I first started this, if you're doing a meeting and your kid walks in, consider it a blessing because you're showing your team and your people that this can be done. This truly can be done. So Emily's done it. She has 3 babies. She has 2 boys and then a girl, right?
Yes.
Wasn't changing the girl's diaper weird at first? You're like, wait, how's this work?
Totally weird. But we had diapers at our we had a baby shower, and I told everyone to write me advice. And like 7 of them said white front to back. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Didn't think
smart.
About that. I had 2 boys, and I was used to taking the diaper and going fast over the top because it would hit you. And with a girl, it's going to go up under the bottom. Yeah. The things
or whatever.
Okay, I'm going to hop on your page here in a second. You guys, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Know that you're very loved, you're very prayed for, and know that this team is about so much more than just balancing your blood sugar and providing probiotics to your intestinal tract. We want you healthy and strong, but for a purpose, and that purpose is your calling. So go out there, write that post that she talked about. You might want to save it to post between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. tomorrow so you get the most interaction with it, but just come with your heart, share something real and true, and end it with the question that she recommended. I can put all these notes on our team page. Thank you again, Emily. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night.